All right, we're checking out a new video card today. It's the MSI GeForce RTX 2080 Ti Lightning Z. Don't be fooled by the absence of a Z on the box. It has a Z. All you gotta do is pay attention to the sticker. The retail box is crap. Just look at the sticker, which clearly says Lightning Z right there. It's official, all right? So we got the Z model, which is the fancy pants one. It's clocked faster, much faster out of the box than the non-Z SKU. I think the non-Z is like 1535 megahertz. This is 1770 megahertz boost clock out of the box. That puts it around 200 megahertz faster than a reference RTX 2080 Ti and roughly 100 megahertz faster than a Founders Edition 2080 Ti. So this is perhaps one of the fastest RTX 2080 Ti's on the market right out of the box, which is pretty exciting. Of course, you're gonna pay a pretty penny for this guy, but hey, if budget's no option or you're just looking for the best of the best, this could be a possible contender. We're gonna take a closer look at it. Let's take the sucker out of the box. It's a big box. It's a big boy. Am I doing this right? Oh no, I think it's upside down. It's not like I take things out of boxes for a living or anything. All right, very nice casing actually. Some documentation. We have a bracket, anti-sag bracket, so that your GPU doesn't sag because this is a very big card. It's a meaty bastard. Triple slot, triple fan. Holy Toledo. So I didn't actually get a chance to see this up close at CES, and it is even bigger and heavier than I ever expected. This thing is gargantuan would be the proper word. Look at that heatsink. That heatsink is ridiculous. And you've got the Torx Fan 3.0 here. I believe the two outer fans have RGB lighting that looks pretty cool. It's their Phantom of the Opera. No, what's it called? What's it called? Phantom of Lighting. It's their Phantom of Lighting technology that's built into these fans. We'll take a closer look at that later. Now there's RGB all over this thing, but the card itself is black and gold. MSI has been on this huge gold kick lately, which I don't mind. I'm kind of a fan. You know, I like the gold trim that they've been putting on some of their other devices, like their laptops and so forth. But bear in mind, it is gold. You can't change it. You got carbon fiber accents all over this card as well, from the front of the shroud here to the full cover backplate, which is also lined with some plastic. It's reinforced backplate, also to help eliminate GPU sag and just give the board some added rigidity. RGB lighting right there. You can see the two little strips. Bloop, bloop. You've got your NVLink SLI finger, a fairly large LCD screen, which can give you some useful real-time system diagnostics like clock speeds, temperatures, and you can even add your own animation and stuff. Maybe we'll get around to that too. Just above that is a dip switch that lets you choose between two profiles, whether you're using the stock cooler or you're going exotic LN2. This will also toggle the Zero Frozer technology, which basically reduces your fan speed to 0 RPM should the GPU fall below 60 degrees Celsius. We've got triple 8-pin power connectors, which means you're going to need an efficient and reliable power supply to drive this unit effectively. It also tells us that this is a fully custom PCB with a 19-phase VRM at that. Again, the heatsink is massive. It's actually two large stacks that are being connected by a series of 6mm and 8mm copper heat pipes. All those pipes are eventually leading to a nickel-plated copper base plate, which is making direct contact with the GPU for effective heat dissipation throughout the card. MSI also advertises that they're using high-grade thermal compound for the GPU, which is supposed to have better performance and longevity. Okay, can we install it now? Now, a really quick disclaimer before we continue here. I actually have to produce and record the rest of this video from home because of the new house. It's a long story, but basically I can't shoot at the studio right now. I didn't feel like bringing my entire equipment set over to the house, so I'm just gonna do a voiceover for the rest of this video. I'm sorry you won't get to see my glorious face for the rest of it. I know that's the #1 reason why you guys subscribe, but yeah, this is just one of those little hiccups that I have to deal with during this whole moving into a new house process. So with that out of the way, let's continue. So I dropped the card in my Z390 test bed with a Core i9-9900K overclocked to 5 GHz on liquid, paired with 16 gigs of G.Skill Sniper Elite DDR4 at 3400 speed on an Asus Prime Z390A. It only took me a few minutes to find a stable overclock with a 40 MHz core clock offset and 425 MHz memory clock offset. Don't expect any earth-shattering gains here since the Lightning Z chips already come heavily tuned from the factory. Still, landed our core clock speed just shy of the 2 GHz mark. I will take it. Temps were hovering in the mid-70s, nearing 80C at times, but never quite getting there, fortunately. Far from chilly, but super respectable for an air-cooled TU-102 at 2 GHz. I would guess that you'd probably see better thermals with one of those liquid-cooled RTX 2080 Ti's that debuted at CES this year, like the Asus ROG Matrix or EVGA's Kingpin model. But those also come with the inconveniences and risks associated with liquid cooling, and when spending $1,000 to $2,000 on a graphics card, some users may find peace of mind with the Lightning Z. In a quiet room, you'd probably be able to hear the card under load through a closed chassis, but it's definitely not loud enough to break your concentration with in-game audio present, so for all intents and purposes, the card is quiet enough for me. Both the LCD and RGB lighting are controlled through the Mystic Light tab within MSI Dragon Center, and while the lighting on the backplate and above the LCD look great, I'm not 100% sold on the fans. I think it looks weird with a dark fan in the middle. I'm just gonna say it. I've spent all weekend with the card and this design choice has not grown on me at all. The lighting on the two lit fans also looks kinda cheap and doesn't match the style of the other lighting accents. I know you won't see it much in a typical case, but I can't help but feel a bit underwhelmed by the implementation here. The opposite is true for the dynamic dashboard LCD. The digital readouts for things like GPU temp, clock speed, and memory usage are large enough to be read easily from several feet away, and while I didn't get around to making any animations, my custom images from MS Paint loaded just fine. You are limited to black and white, however. For testing, the CPU and GPU ran overclocked with the settings I mentioned earlier, and were tested on 7 games at 2560 by 1440 and 3840 by 2160, with the exception of Metro Last Light, which kept crashing at 4K for some reason, even with the system running bone stock. I spent like half an hour troubleshooting before finally giving up, so sorry about that. We're also using the latest WCL driver at the time of filming, that's 417.71, and here we go. So yeah, big surprise. This card is stupid fast, chewing up every maxed out title at 1440p and 4K. Right now there's virtually nothing it can't handle, and that's probably going to be the case for years to come. I didn't test any RTX features, but I reckon the Lightning Z eats Rays for breakfast before tracing them with its butt like a Froyo dispenser. Sure, it's faster than Nvidia's Founders Edition. I would guesstimate 5% on average based on my RTX 2080 Ti launch day review, but not by enough to warrant the $400 premium with its insane $1,600 price tag. So assuming you have the bankroll in the first place, only a deep infatuation with the design and appearance of the card would really make it worth your dollar. Your single $1,600 dollar. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this card is a work of art, a statement piece reserved exclusively for the ultra gaming elite. And if you fail to see the value in that, you're just a filthy casual pleb. But that's all I got. What do you guys think of these premium flagship cards? Like, if you had the money, what features would a card like this have to have for you to throw down? Let me know in the comments. If you could toss a like on this video before you go, I'd really appreciate it. And subscribe to my channel, or I will poop in your water cooling loop. Yet another reason to go air cooling. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one, and I'll see y'all in the next video.